Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Computer Classes by Rachna. Today we will talk about the examples of cursors. We have already done the different types of cursors, implicit and explicit. Those who have not done can go back to the playlist and see the cursor and its types first. Now we will talk about the example. So we have to create a table employee as shown and then create a cursor that would read employee ID, first name and last name. And then it will display the employee ID and full name of employees working in department number 10. Now you can see the employee table. It has employee ID, first name, last name, department ID and salary. So what we are supposed to do is we are supposed to extract the employee ID, first name and last name, and then we have to display them as the full name, employee ID along with the full name. So how can we get the full name? By concatenating the first name and the last name. But we don't have to take out the first name, last name and employee ID of all the values given in the table. We need to get it only for department number 10. So what should be the query? We can just select the employee ID, first name and last name from this table employee, and we can give a condition within select where department ID equal to 10. Now if you notice, the department ID 10 would be this particular set of values. The department ID 10 would be this particular set of values, which include the value for 106, 107, 108, 109, 110 and 111 employee IDs, and rest all are working in different departments. So first thing is we will declare the cursor. So how we will declare the cursor? We will declare the cursor, declare, then we give a keyword cursor, then we give C underscore employees. So C underscore employees is the name of the cursor, and then we give is. So is a statement which is telling that now we are defining the cursor. So declare cursor C underscore employees is. Now what we have to do, we have to select employee ID, right? We have to select the employee ID, we have to select the first name and we have to select the last name from this table employees where department ID equal to 10. So this is the query which is going to work on the cursor. So within the cursor we are giving this query that we need to select the employee ID, first name, last name from employees where department equal to 10. All right. Now after this, these values that we have selected, they have to be stored somewhere. So let's say I need to store the employee ID in a variable v underscore employee ID. Then let's say I need to store the first name in a variable v underscore first name, and then I need to store the last name in a variable v underscore last name. So we use these three variables. Now what should be the data type? Whenever we declare the variables, there has to be some data type, and we know that ID is of type integer and first name and last name are of type varchar, but then we have to go to the table and its description to see what is the size of varchar and whether the employee ID is only integer or it is declared as varchar. So all this has to be checked, but it's not always possible to go back to the definition of the table or description of the table and see things. So we can declare these variables with one particular statement. So the employee ID should be of the same type as the employee ID which is present in the employees table. For this we can use this statement. This is the name of the variable, and then we give v underscore employee ID's data type as employees dot employee ID percentage type, which means it should be of the same type as the employee ID in the employees table. Similarly, we give the same statement for V underscore first name. It should be from the table name, which is employees dot first name percentage type, which means the V underscore first name variable should be of the same data type as the first name which is present in employees. Similarly, V underscore last name is from the table employees dot last name percentage type. So it simply describes that these three variables should be same as the data types of the attributes employee ID, first name and last name from the employees table. Understood? So we have declared the variable cursor and we have declared the variables. Now we will begin the cursor. Now we need to begin with the cursor. So when we begin with the cursor, just remember that in the cursor, these 6 rows are selected as a result of select statement, where we selected the employee name, the employee ID, the first name and the last name of all the employees working in department number 10, which means this is the result set of the select statement, where we have 106 Raj Thakur, 107 Megha Jindal, 108 Pooja Kapoor, 109 Aman Kapoor, 110 Anand Navneet and 111 Durga Ahuja. So these are the rows that get selected as a select statement within our cursor. So we begin with the cursor now. All right. So to begin with the cursor, what do we need to do? We just start begin. We open the cursor, open C underscore employees, which is the name of the cursor. Then we give a loop. Why are we giving a loop? Because there are 6 rows from which we have to fetch the data. So we begin, we open the cursor, then we fetch the loop. So what we are giving is fetch and then C underscore employees, which is the name of the cursor. So from this cursor, we are fetching the values, and where are we storing those values? We are storing those values into V underscore employee ID, which is the first variable that we created. Then V underscore first name, which is the second variable that we created. And then V underscore last name, which is the third variable that we created. And then these values are fetched one by one, row by row into these particular variables. When do we have to exit? We will exit when C underscore employees percentage not found, which means no rows further will be found. There will be 6 rows. After that, it will exit when there are no further rows. Then we process the fetch data. So one by one, when we are accessing the variables, we will display those values of the variables. So DBMS underscore output dot put underscore line. Employee ID is V underscore employee ID. Then we give name and we give V underscore first name. Then we concatenate it with a gap. So we can give a space in between and V underscore last name followed by semicolon. So what it will show? It will show employee ID is this, name is this. It will display the full name. Then we end the loop. Then we close the cursor and then we end the program. After that, we give a slash because whenever we want to run the program, we have to give a slash. And this is the output that it is going to show. Employee ID 106 and then name Raj Thakur, employee ID 107, name this, employee ID 108, name this. And you can see that we have this comma in between. Why do we have this comma? We have this comma because we have put it in front of the name. Can you see that? We have put it in front of the name here, that comma name. So it will be displayed with a comma. All right. So this is the output that we are going to get, and it will show capital N instead of small n here. So in the program, we have to give capital N. So the output will also give capital N in name. All right. And then it will show that procedure is successfully completed. So this is one example of cursor where we have declared a cursor, and after declaration we have given the name to a cursor, C underscore employees. Then is means we are describing the cursor. We describe the cursor with a select statement. After that, we create variables that will store these values from the rows, and then we open the cursor. Then we create a loop to store the fetched values into these variables, and then we display these values one by one. And this is how we get the output. This is the first example. Follow the next video for the next example. Thank you so much. I hope you understood. And if you have understood, please do like and subscribe the channel for getting intimation of all the new videos that will come up. Thank you. See you.